7号林任健。6号刁伟。2号王大双。16号陈意涵。13号孙源。5号马良。10号孔德金。11号朝鲁门。1号刘任。8号郑肖怀。4号何文冲。3号孙鹏。15号陈思明。9号。抽签仪式结束，稍后公布运动员比赛场地。 下面公布一下运动员比赛场地：2号台齐国校孔德金，4号台周龙朝鲁门，6号台康延壮刁伟，8号台张俊杰侯文冲，10号台博俊杰郑肖怀，12号台傅简波林任健，14号台梁时瑜崔明君，16号台孟凡宇刘任，18号台李英东马良，20号台曹宇鹏孙源，22号台沈胜义陈意涵，25号台白鸽王大双，26号台王鹏孙鹏，28号台何塞德尔加多王路奇，30号台陈成汉申成 ，TV 台于海涛陈思明。请运动员马上进入比赛场地检录。2号台齐国校孔德金，4号台周龙朝鲁门，6号台康延壮刁伟，8号台张俊杰何文冲，10号台博俊杰郑肖怀，12号台傅简波林任健，14号台梁时瑜崔明君，16号台孟凡宇刘任，18号台李英东马良，20号台曹宇鹏孙源，22号台沈胜义陈意涵，25号台白鸽王大双，26号台王鹏孙鹏，28号台何塞德尔加多王路奇，30号台陈成汉申成 ，TV 台于海涛陈思明。请还未进入比赛场地的运动员进入比赛场地检录。
Break it， 不强求到鬼 ，Move it， 让谎言作废。No more shake it like that， 倒数归零后就会洗尽了伤悲，真心的敬畏。时间还有空间穿越游走，梦想完美过度的光辉会让我们牵起手飞。原地踏步过多久，带着新的自信。제발 사랑해 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 슬픔이 기쁨이 여기에 나와 너는 한 생명이고 우리가 원래 하나로 태어났던 순간 갈수록 소모적인 이슬을 만난 순간 점점점 멀어져가 점점 둘로 깨져버린 채 힘을 잃어버린 태양 갈수록 더 가절했던 꿈의 세계 다시 마주하는 순간 내 가슴이 뛴다 마구 뛴다 돌고 돌아서 다시 시작하는 곳에 다 왔어 Yeah, XOM, XOK 우리가 시작하는 미래 히스토리 저 태양처럼 거대한 하나란 걸 아는 나 나의 심장의 태양에 끝없이 우린 하나로 강해지고 있어 I need you and you and me 지구란 이별에서 Every day 내가 만든 history
오늘도 계속해서 걷긴 걷는데 제자리인 것 같아 매일도 나는 왜 이제 누가 또 뭘 했는지 누가 또 뭘 했는지 쓸데없는 걱정들만 하는 게 지치는 날들 속에 깊은 밤에 잠긴 환히 떠오르는 아침 나를 다시 반길 기분 좋은 소식들과 내 자신을 찾길 바라며 I'm rising 바라며 I'm shining 뭐 때문에 all day 또 때문에 always 뭐 때문에 all day 또 때문에 always 걱정하지 마 흘러가면 돼 언제까지나 느낌대로 해 후회는 할 일 없이 언제나 보란 듯이 난 나답게 항상 내가 느낀 대로 해 걱정하지 마 흘러가면 돼 언제까지나 느낌대로 해 후회는 할 일 없이 언제나 보란 듯이 난 나답게 항상 내가 느낀 대로 해 And it's okay 다 털어버리자 Cause I'm always 나일 테니까 And it's okay 다 털어버리자 Cause I'm always 나일 테니까 편하게 신은 신발처럼 그냥 하면 돼 어두운 세상 속 빛 한 줄기 내 깊은 꿈속 한켠에 다들 남들처럼 대충 따라가려 해도 나는 쉽게 안 변해 나다운 내가 되려 해 I don't care what they say 상관없는 얘기 중요한 건 꿈 희망 플러스 젊은 패기 got muscle baby we on top interview win or lose 고개 위로 들고 다시 일어나 뭐 이뤄도 all day 또 때문에 always 뭐 때문에 all day 또 때문에 always 걱정하지 마 흘러가면 돼 언제까지나 느낌대로 해 후회는 할 일 없이 언제나 보란 듯이 난 나답게 항상 내가 느낀 대로 해 걱정하지 마 흘러가면 돼 언제까지나 느낌대로 해 후회는 할 일 없이 언제나 보란 듯이 난 나답게 항상 내가 느낀 대로 해 흘러가는 대로 내 자신을 믿어 고긴 하늘 위로 And we going up yeah Let it go Let it go 걱정하지 마 흘러가면 돼 언제까지나 느낌대로 해 후회는 할 일 없이 언제나 보란 듯이 난 나답게 항상 내가 느낀 대로 해 And it's okay 다 털어버리자 Cause I'm always 나일 테니까 And it's okay 다 털어버리자 Cause I'm always 나일 테니까 Not shy, not me. 날 다 원했던 다. Yeah. Not shy, not me. 난 빨리빨리 원하는 걸 말해 못 가지면 어땠겠니 한설이 다 시간만 가니 Yeah 다 말할래 cause I like it cause I like it like it 기다려 왜 기다렸어 뭐해 내가 내 맘을 왜 말하면 안 돼 Yeah 그냥 차 그냥 탁탁탁탁탁 Not shy to say I want you Hey there hey there 우리는 great pair 네 맘이 뭔지 모르지만 내 생각이 맞아 그럼 네가 Yeah yeah 내 맘은 내꺼 그러니까 좋아한다고 자유니까 네 맘은 내꺼 많으니까 말해봐 다 어서 다 Cause I'm not shy Not shy not me 난 다 원했던 다 Not shy not me Give 말해보자 cause I'm not shy Not shy, not me 난 잘 보내겠다 Not shy, not shy, not me Keep me down, 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 down Not shy, not me 난 잘 보내겠다 Not shy, not shy, not me 너를 원해 못해 cause I'm not shy 후회하기 싫으니까 엔딩 상관없으니까 꿈꾸고 모두 쏟아내 너의 날 뭐든지 어때 Yeah 이러면 처음엔 어때 어차피 안 될 거 빼고 다 돼 Let's just be who we are do what we do 네 맘대로 해 Let the beat drop Not shy, not me 난다 원해있다 Not shy, not shy, not me 말해보자 어서 다 cause I'm not shy Not shy, not me 난 잘 보내겠다 Not shy, not shy, not me Keep me down, 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 down Not shy, not me 난 잘 보내겠다 Not shy, not shy, not me 너를 원해 못해 cause I'm not shy Not shy, not me
Gentlemen in the mix.
在比赛开始之前，提醒一下场内所有人员，请将您的手机调至为静音或关闭状态。比赛期间，请保持赛场安静，场地内禁止吸烟。拍照请关闭闪光灯，谢谢合作。比赛禁止弃权，禁止为对手免球，以上行为将会被视为违反体育精神的行为，会受到组委会的处罚。欢迎大家来到利百温台尼乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛南宁站的比赛现场。接下来进行的是第4阶段单败淘汰1至16场的比赛。下面介绍本场比赛出场的裁判员及运动员。2号台裁判员玉玲，运动员齐国孝、孔德金。4号台裁判员徐景言，运动员周龙、朝鲁门。6号台李永元、严壮。8号台裁判员刘媛媛，运动员张俊杰、何文冲。10号台裁判员刘宇，运动员博俊杰、郑肖怀。 12号台裁判员张月秋，运动员傅简波、林任健。14号台裁判员商凯，运动员梁时宇、崔明君。16号台裁判员何秀红，运动员孟凡宇、刘任。18号台裁判员吕阳，运动员李英东、马良。20号台裁判员刘法恒，运动员曹宇鹏、孙源。22号台裁判员佘真真，运动员沈申义、陈意涵。25号台裁判员李亚萌，运动员白鸽、王大双。26号台裁判员宋敏敏，运动员王鹏、孙鹏。28号台裁判员陆月，运动员西班牙选手何塞德尔加多、王璐琪。号台裁判员杨宇龙，运动员陈成汉。新峰，运动员于海涛、陈思明。现在比赛开始。
于海涛你好，请双手争夺可取选择权，听有口令预备。3、2、1，开始。陈思明获得开局选择权。
Good day, everyone, and welcome back to day 9 here at the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Nanning Station Division 1 Tour. We are now in stage 4, last 32 players down to 16, as you just saw on your screen. TV table match as Yu Haitao of LPQs goes up against Qin Siming from China. Just one international player left in this last 32, that is Jose Alberto Delgado from Spain. This is now a race to 15 at this stage. Winners break format right through, no time limit. And it is now single elimination. Qin winning the leg, and not the greatest break to start the match off. It's dry, and we're going to see what kind of form Yu Haitao is in. Yu Haitao, winner of the 2019 Chinese Pool Masters tournament. That was the 7th Grand Masters that he won. Prize money for that tournament was 1 million RMB. Also is the face of LPQs here in China. If you are looking to buy an LPQ, the poster always has the face of Yu Haitao on it. It's going to be a tough match though for him. He's going up against the force that is Chin Siming. I think most people know her for winning the 2017 WPA 9-ball championship in the ladies division, and also countless number of titles in China and around the world in 9-ball and Heyball as well.
10秒。
Also, there will be a 1-ball handicap, so the last ball will come off the table for Chin Siming when she gets to the last ball. Players under the age of 14 and female players playing against a male athlete have a 1-ball handicap. We are live on our Facebook page, Joy World Heyball Tour, shared to WHT, and also on our YouTube page. And I'm your commentator for the Joy Heyball events, Raymond Tillack from South Africa. And I'll be keeping you company throughout the rest of this tournament, right up to the final, which is on the 24th at 7:30 p.m. So it's going to go quite quick now with just 32 players left and single elimination. By the end of this round, already down to 16. 8 tomorrow afternoon, 4 tomorrow evening. And then we'll see the semi-finals and the finals being played on the same day. And this is a very good start from Yu Haitao to take his first point with a rack and run off the dry break from Chin Siming. Winner's break format, he will be staying at the table to break in the next frame as well. Here, just having a look at the draw. Let's have a look at some of our other highlighted matches on at the moment. I see Kong De Jing managed to get through. He is still in the tournament. Bo Junjie as well. A couple of the favorites. Of course, Chao Yupeng up against Sun Yuan, that is on table 20. And Shen Shenyi still in as well. Those are the players that I do see getting into the last 8, last 4 of this tournament. And the last international player left standing, Jose Delgado, is on table 28. He's playing against Wang Luqi. Score currently 1-0 already to Jose in that. And that's 1-0. That's a rack and run for Jose. Nice way to get started in that match. Race to 15 there as well for a place in the last 16 of this tournament. Just gonna have to play this off the 2. Yeah, I'd like to see a replay of that. Hitting the outside jaw most likely means he hit the 2 just too thin. Also, there was a lot of pace coming in there from that 7 ball, so it still is an open table for Chin Siming. Solids in play. From the looks of it, it does look like the 5 does go. She can get through between the 4 and the black ball to get onto that 5 ball. 2 could pass from the 3, so if the 4 is not available, that can be the ball that she takes off the table. Not landing on the right side of the 1, unfortunately. Yeah, which is why we are going down for the 3. Tells me that the 2 is definitely available also. As you can see, the 4 is the ball that's tied up. Left an angle on the 5. That's going to naturally take her up table to the 1. Now I'm sure she's played to either get straight or high on the 1. Not type of shot you want to be low on, as the cue ball would then need to come in and out of the balk area. 4 ball comes off the table. And that is Chen Suming replying with a rack and run of her own. Yeah, she made that look quite easy. Needed a little bit of rerouting to get back to the 1 ball, but no problem at all. There we have the stats so far. 1 rack and run each. 2 frames played, 2 1-visit clearances in this match. And I think once again at this level, very similar to the match we saw this morning, it's going to be coming down to the break. The 1 ball should have been in. We are definitely going to see a replay of that. The 1 ball got kicked right at the edge of the center pocket. Have a look at this. It's on its way. Yeah, 3 kicks the 14 and kicks the 1 into the jaw, unfortunately for Chen. So far, 2 breaks for Chen and 2 dry breaks. He gets up off his shot. Yeah, I mean, I'd say both look good. There's not a ball on the cushion. It's just the 6-5-7 that's the way it's lined up. It's slightly awkward, as the 7 only goes into the bottom right corner on our screen, and that would release, well, the 6 would have to go to release the 5. So that's why solids was awkward, because of those 3, the way they were placed. And we do come back up table, 12-11 in the middle of the table. They are available to the center pockets. Wrong side of the 10, he's going to have to work the cue ball a little bit. Oh, he needs that to hold up. He needs that to hold up. Has he got it still? Yeah, the reaction tells me no, and there we see it. We're right behind it. 15 not available. That's jump cue in hand. So he snookered himself on the 15 behind his own stripes. Came close to potting that, although I'd say the cue ball was coming in quite hot there as well. It was quite a lot of pace into that for such a short jump. Unforced error, unforced positional error from Yu Hai Tao. And we could say that could have started with the position on the 10. He was on the wrong side of the 10, which meant that he needed to play the cue ball first into the bottom cushion on our screen to get past the 6 going up. Injected a little bit too much pace into that, and that's the result. Chen Suming back to the table. And looking at the layout on solids, everything's there. I just don't see a problem at all. Say the tough decision here is which ball to leave as the last. Very smooth cue action, as you see the exaggerated backswing and pause. You see that with a lot of the Chinese players as well. But always cueing positively through the cue ball. Yeah, as expected, because of the way the 3 ball was behind the 1. You needed the 1 to be removed to release the 3 to the center. That's why the 3 will be the ball taken off the table. Now this was off Chen Suming's dry break, so it's not going to be counted as a 1 visit clearance. But she regains control of the table as she takes her second point. Yu Hai Tao not able to capitalize off that dry break and the chance at the table.
精研工艺，邂逅上乘才智，匠心独具，诠释卓越性能，尽显非凡魅力。每一次击球都能感受到力量与技巧的和谐共鸣，每一次挥杆都是精准操控与职业打感完美契合。手握奥斯本兹酒杆，为热爱全力以赴，注重打感，选奥斯本兹。
And also at this stage in the tournament, last 32 now, I think we are going to see most of the matches being really close, unless one of the players really finds a rhythm on their break, being a winner's break format, and runs a few racks in a row, which we have seen. We've seen in the past 5, 6, 7. I think it was He Wen Chong in last year's, well, not last year's, last station's final, running 6 break and runs in a row consecutively. one of the highest that we have seen throughout these tournaments. So far, break not working for Chen Sleming. That's cue ball into the center pocket. It's ball in hand behind the balk line for Yu Haitao. Has to play down table as well, so can't play any of the balls within balk. Looking at the angle he had on the previous shot, most players would have tried to hold the cue ball by screwing it instead of going around like that. And if you would have tried to hold the cue ball like that on this cloth, cue ball usually sliding quite a bit, high chances of actually cannoning into one of those stripes and making things harder for yourself. He's come out just enough there for the 10 into the same pocket. He's going to be missing the 2. Cue ball back down onto the side of the table. Executed that really well. Perfect control coming off his stripe object ball. Excellent pace. Black ball plays to the center pocket. Yeah, this has been really neat from Yu Haitao. Punishing the mistake from Chen Sleming to get his second point on the scoreboard, and that's another rack and run for him. So he's on 2 points, 2 rack and runs. It's his break next. Can he make something of it? Can he stay at the table? The danger here with these players being as capable as they are is once one of them finds a good break and really warms up, it's very difficult to stop that momentum. Now, if we are seeing a lot of dry breaks and returned racks and a few multiple visit frames, then each player is not really getting a chance to create that momentum. That's what the winner's break format can do. The cue ball still spinning around there. Yeah, a lot of power into that break. I was sure something was going to pot in the top right corner pocket. But also dry break from Yu Haitao. Cue ball has finally stopped spinning. 7-6, not a set combination to the top right corner pocket on our screen. 7-6 is the green and the brown. Now if she takes stripes, it doesn't have to play the 10. Then of course the 10 is not her only problem, is it? Green stripe 14 and orange stripe 13 at the bottom end of the table here. Now where she's put her cue, it's possible that that is one of the only places that the 14 does pot from, the green stripe 14. This is interesting now. Not only has she not come far enough for the 14, she's on the wrong side of the 15 to the center pocket. This has to be powered in now. There we go, to generate the movement. Okay, cue ball on this side of the table. Is the combination available? It could be. And I think that's her only option, getting the cue ball on this side of the table. She has to take the combination on. It's not there. It wasn't only the combination that was the issue, it was having to try and control the 14 as well, the green stripe 14, as she would have to play that next. So Yu Haitao comes to the table in this fifth frame, playing solids. Black ball tied up 7 and 6 at the top end of the table also. Purposefulness. I'd have to say yes, because he hasn't left anything on for Chin Se-ming. The only ball that he's left on is the 13 next to the black ball, which means she opens the black ball. And from this camera angle, it doesn't look like the 13 goes to the center pocket. Yeah, look, she definitely had a better look at that than us from this camera angle, but it really didn't look like it goes. So if that was the intention, very clever play from Yu Haitao, forcing Chen to do that, to open up the black ball for him. It's one less problem on the table. Already saw him looking at the 5 up table there. He's having a look at that again to play the 5 off the 6. That's the orange 5 that's in balk off the green 6 into that top right corner pocket. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. He's not where he wanted to be. He definitely wanted to be playing the 5 off the 6, which meant he wanted to be much straighter on this one ball to run the cue ball down, at least stun run it down, or follow it through into balk. And if nothing's available, safety cue ball behind those two solids. Should be securing himself another visit to this table. Not only that, the way he's played that, the 7 now goes to that pocket, the brown 7. Depending on the angle he has on that, he'll be able to open the 6 as well. Which he might actually have right now. Used it well. And yeah, you had to stretch over there, left-handed player. It's awkward playing on that side of the table, as it is for the right-handed players playing on the other side of the table. Well, he would have liked to knock the 1 towards the center pocket as well there. Not onto the cushion though. That's not what he wanted. Now the angle he has on the 2 to the center pocket, he's going to have to play the 1. Now with the black ball being where it is, if he can end up just underneath the 1 ball, similar to that, it's okay. More than enough angle for the cue ball to hop away from the cushion as well. Last thing he wanted was to be perfectly straight on it. He's got to cue this well. And he does. Makes that look too easy, does Yu Haitao. Look, that shot down the cushion. These players practice that so many times a day. It's not a shot that comes up that often. You might see in a race to 15, maybe 2 or 3 of those that have to go down the cushion. But knowing that you can pot that ball like that definitely means you can take these frames on and get these points on the board as well. That's Yu Haitao securing his 3rd point. He leads 3-2 over Chin Sirming. Yu Haitao now leading 3-2. Big break coming up. And again, that amount of power and nothing falling on the break. Look, the more power in the break, the more the balls are flying around the table. The velocity is higher on those object balls flying around the table, but still sometimes they're just not going to end up finding the pockets. So it's not like Chen Suming has not been given chances. Both these players have had chances. I think that's why you see the scoreline is as tight as it is. Now, she's gone for solids. She's missed the solid, but she's potted a stripe. Now, the first ball contacted was a solid. That is a loss of turn. Colors have not been selected yet. In Heyball rules, the ball you make contact with first needs to be the ball that falls. And now stripes have been secured by Yu Haitao. Now by going for stripes, must mean the black ball does go. He can get the cue ball in there to pass the one, to pot that black ball into the top left corner pocket. That's what he's looking at. Scoreline with Jose Delgado. He is currently 2-1 up against Wang Lu Chi. That's one break and run for Wang Lu Chi, one rack and run for Jose Delgado. Yeah, this is going to get interesting now. I don't think he's on the 9 and he's not on the 13 the way he would have wanted. That's the orange stripe 13, which he's looking at now. Yeah, he's quite lucky that he didn't make contact with the one ball. Just nearly grazed the yellow one, and that would have blocked his path to the black ball. So there on the overhead, we can see that there is enough space. But the cue ball needs to be perfect. It needs to be almost flush to the ball cushion. A little bit more. Yeah, I think he's okay. Might be playing this with a touch of left. It's a close score, but I think it was legal. Referee does too.
I was born in Louisiana. My mama told my papa our little boy has got the blues. You better watch what you do to me.
Now, although that was an excellent clearance from Yu Haitao, does not count as a one-visit clearance. It was his break. Chen Suming did have a chance at the table, and then he cleared after that. But what a way to get that 4th point. Really nicely done from Yu Haitao. He's 4-2 up now against Chen Suming with another dry break. Yeah, I think with the amount of dry breaks he's been having, must be quite surprised that Chen has not been able to capitalize more. Because usually, if you look at these matches, dry breaks are the reason you'll usually see a player lower on the scoreline, lagging behind on the scoreline. such a smooth, positive delivery of the cue. It's really her cue action is just something else. It really is. And if you'll notice, once again, the pre-shot routine, everything is the exact same. Every shot, the amount of times that she feathers the ball, the pullback, the delivery. But at the moment, she's not getting exactly what she wants from that cue ball, unfortunately. Didn't want to be going into the 7. There was no need. A few more rolls more. She's straight on the 6. Leaves herself an easy 3. And this is now getting slightly complicated for Chin Slimming. She's been a bit fortunate to be on this long 3. Hold for the 2. It's okay. It's a little bit messy, but it's okay. Seven comes off the table. And that is a rack and run for Chin Slimming to get her 3rd point on the scoreboard. She trails 4-3 from Yu Haitao. It will be her break next. Also been having quite a few dry breaks. And that's why we can see there haven't been any break and runs thus far. We've got 2 rack and runs each. So that's 4 one-visit clearances in 7 frames played. Also puts a lot of power. She's able to generate so much power through this break. Made a ball this time. It was a very, very clean, solid hit. Look at the cue ball, almost straight back as well. That was a very good hit. Very controlled action. She spotted a solid on that break, and look at where the 3 ball is as well. The 4's gonna be the ball she takes off the table. Two passes the black ball into the center, which means she's on the right side of the 7 and the 1. She's quite careful with that. The last thing you want to do with a shot like that is glance the black ball. The 2 might have still gone in, but then the black ball goes safe onto the left side cushion. I was going to say, which side do you use? Do you come down the left side or the right side? Stun that in off 2 cushions to get onto the right side of the table. Has to pass the 15, a little bit more, it's enough. It's made it through the gap. And this will be her 4th point as she equalizes with our first break and run for this match from Chen Seming. And that is 4-all, 8 frames played. We will have a 5 to 10 minute player break, so we'll be back in a bit. Thank you guys.
提醒您，精彩比赛马上开始。
Wasted your love and won't waste anymore. Wish there was an angel sit up on my shoulder. 俺老孙啥功名不要，只求回到这花果山中了。过逍遥日子。
天要求干，换一切为可能。欧尚地毯突破核心科技。从智能车间到高品质球房，重新定义标准，为每一个台球梦想铺好第一步。铺好毯，打好球，不掉毛，零干扰。
职业选手的第一选择，欧尚地毯，掉毛地毯终结者。
超级蓝钻皮头职业版。采用进口头层水牛皮，韧性好，弹性持久，颗颗精选，粒粒碾压，严格质检，世界职业球员必用的皮头，超级蓝钻，祝您夺冠！
罂粟胶边具有国内胶边很难做到的特点，罂粟胶边的硬度达到了45度。使反射角高度接近入射角，罂粟整条胶边误差小于20丝，因而各部位酷性一致。欢迎各品牌厂家使用罂粟胶边来提升台球桌的专业性能。好胶边罂粟皂，好胶边罂粟皂。
钻皮头，黄金版、白金版，采用进口头层水牛皮，颗颗精选，严格质检，韧性好，弹性持久，世界职业球员必用的皮头，超级蓝钻，一专业，缔造不凡。 2025赛季中式八球大师赛收官之战，力百文台尼乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛南宁站，全球顶尖选手着陆绿城南宁，甲级赛、超级赛近1000万奖金池，虚位以待。赛事与首届南宁台球产业博览会同步启幕，以沉浸式体验空间展现中国制造，以国际高峰论坛探索品牌出海新路径，深耕南方市场，拓展中国与东盟的台球产业链之路，让中式八球的竞技美学与文化内核跨越国界，为推中入奥、注入东盟动能，书写“一带一路”体育人文交流。
看结束比赛继续，第9局，全新人开球。
And we are back after that player break. Players do get 10 minutes for that break, but usually always back within 5. As we see that so often. Score is 4-all currently in this race to 15 match for a place in the top 16 of this tournament. Last 32 underway at the moment. And TV table match, Chen Seming against Yu Haitao. She was able to make the first break and run of this match thus far. That was in the previous frame, just before the player break. Every 8 frames we have that player break, so the next one will be at 16 frames played. And breaking better this time, making 2 balls, 1 in each center pocket. Oh, that is a let-off. I think she was so worried about getting the cue ball back and into position that she slightly took her eye off the pot there. Not a mistake we'd usually see Chen Seming make. Not on a shot like that. And if you are just joining us, welcome to the live stream of the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Nanning Station. And if you were watching those video clips during the player break, you would have actually seen the aerial footage of the venue where we are. It's the Nanning Exhibition Center for this Division 1 tour. Opening ceremony for the Super Tour, and the Super Tour will be played here as well. That starts on the 25th. To the 4th of January. And that's Yu Haitao securing stripes in this 9th frame. It's not a simple one. Yeah, I'd like to be able to see if the 11 goes past the 3. I think it does. 13, well, orange stripe 13 doesn't look like it passes the 9 into the center pocket. Which is why he's done that, to just open things up a bit. And now from there, does he have the potting angle on the 11? He does. He's down on it. The 11 must go. Looks like it could. He was sure it could, but was not able to make that pot, and Chen Seming comes back to the table Quite a few multiple visit frames we are seeing here at the moment. Played for the gap that you can see to be on the 3. Purposely using the outer edge of that corner pocket, did not want to go anywhere near the 11 ball that was sitting there. It's amazing what your mind can do to you sometimes if you tell your mind, don't touch the 11 ball on the way through. That's exactly where that ball will go. So she's purposely aimed that at the outside jaw. Now she's on the 7. She's bumped the black ball slightly, just slightly, but she's okay for the black ball to the center pocket. She had to work with the angle that she gave herself on that 7. Couldn't do much except to land on the black ball like this. And Chinsaming takes the lead. She gets her 5th point on the board. She's leading 5 frames to 4 over Yu Haitao. This is a race to 15 winners break format, no time limit. This is stage 4, 32 players down to 16, single elimination. And I think with single elimination, there's a little bit more pressure on the players. At the beginning of, for instance, stage 3, you know, it's double elimination. Yes, of course, nobody wants to lose, but you do know if you do, there is a safety net. You do have another opportunity. But once we get to stage 4 in these tournaments, there is no safety net anymore. It's play well and win or you're out. Seven should be in. Yeah, we got a stripe on the side as well. Looks like Chinsaming has found her break. And if you look at that break, it's not very wild. It's more on the control side, especially if you see the cue ball's reaction after making contact with the pack. Not always about hitting them as hard as you can. Although all these players have that in their arsenal as well if they need to, if they see that the softer, more controlled approach is not working. And they're getting consistently dry breaks, then of course up the power and see if that works. We also see the side break used now and again. It's not a break that I prefer. You are usually ending up with more clusters on the table like that. Most times as well, the balls will be one-sided on the table, usually the side which you broke from. I'd say usually the only benefit to that is if you are not breaking well at all, instead of leaving the pack open as you do when you hit it down the center. Things are a little bit tighter, and if it is dry, your opponent has to work for the clearance. This is so beautifully executed from Chen Seming. Yeah, this is Chen Seming flowing with another break and run. That is her second one, starting off with that excellent break, getting her 6th point on the board. She's 6-4 up now against Yu Haitao. That's 10 frames played. We are, you could say, a third of the way there. And as you can see, once Chen starts flowing and finds her break, very, very dangerous indeed. 2 break and runs, 2 rack and runs for her, and 2 rack and runs for Yu Haitao. Now let's have a look at the break. That's the reason she's still at the table, is because she's breaking so well at the moment. Cue ball off to one side, still under control though. Still not too wild, and she pot a ball into the center pocket. It's the pink 12 into that center pocket. This is complicated. If you're looking at solids, okay, from her perspective, you're getting 1 ball off the table. So look at the 6-7 up table. She's having a look at whether the 7 goes past the 6 and the 15. And then you look at stripes. You've got 2 stripes against the cushion, the 15 tied up. Yeah, she's tried hard there to develop that, and from a shot like that, cue ball's so close to the object ball, playing it at that pace into the center pocket while working the cue ball as well. Yu Haitao looking at whether he can get to the 7 ball. I think he might just be able to. Off the 3. That's solid secured for Yu Haitao. Now with the first shot that Chen Seming played, the 3 to the center, not successful on the pot, but she did manage to disturb the brown 7 and the green 6, and this is why Yu Haitao has a much easier table on solids when he came to this. Interesting pattern at the bottom end of the table with 1, 2, 5. So from the right-hand side of the table on our screen, 5 is the ball that goes. You take the 5. That should release the 1, which will then release the 2 as well. That's not far enough for the 5, unfortunately. He's low on the 5. That's what he's looking at. That's where he knows the cue ball is heading towards. It's going to make the 1 that much tougher. It's not only the 1, it's then holding for the 2. He's played that 5 as thick as he could possibly play that, reducing the upward movement of the cue ball. Have a look at this. He's almost missed that. That's how thick he's played that. Yeah, the thicker you play a ball like that at an angle like that, the less movement you get from the cue ball. The thinner you play it, the harder you have to play it, the more the cue ball wants to run. It's done well here. This was not a simple finish. He's done well up to the black ball. Rather say it like that. You know, come to think of it, I didn't see the usual pre-shot routine. I didn't see his usual way he chalks the cue, the way he looks at the angle on that black ball. He just got down and played it. I think, like we thought as well, that was in before it was. Play that two-way, of course, the red stripe 11. Not an easy blind pocket. The reason we say blind pocket with a reverse angle like that is when you are looking at the potting angle, you can't really see the pocket in which you are shooting to. You just see the potting angle. And I say two-way because she knew she was leaving the cue ball there. She would have been on the 15, brown stripe 15, had she potted it, but didn't leave the black ball easy for Yu Haitao. That was much closer than I thought he's going to come to that. Looks like she just has enough to get to the 10 ball. 10 does go into the center pocket. A 13, that's on the left side of the table on our screen. That can be the ball that she takes off the table. For a second, I forgot that she actually has to take a ball off the table. I was looking at the 13 that's on the left side, actually playing that off the black ball. That's if she wanted to attack the clearance. And if you didn't have a ball coming off the table, of course. So cue ball back up table now from the 9. That 9 was not clean as well. It was jaw in. "13" orange stripe comes off the table. And Chen Suming gets her 7th point on the board. She leads 7 frames to 4 over Yu Haitao in this race to 15. She's almost halfway there. And that's off that unforced error, that miss from Yu Haitao. I mean, he'd been executing that finish so perfectly. It was not an easy one to make. Would have also been a rack and run. That was off Chen Suming's break, where she missed the 3 into the right center pocket. Oh, the cue ball almost going into that center pocket this time. Also, once again, hitting them a bit on the side of the pack. Shows you how sensitive the reaction to the break is. The slightest change or cue ball movement or change in the stroke. And then of course you got the major factor, that is that we are using the triangle rack, but we have been doing that for quite a while now. Most of this year actually we have changed to the triangle rack from the magic rack. That's the reason we could implement the winner's break rule as well. Can't really do that with the magic rack when potting percentage from that rack was 95% plus. Most of the top Chinese players. And we usually see it in the latter stages of these tournaments where it's a bit of an argument regarding the winner's break format. And we only see that when a player makes or runs 5 or 6 racks in a row, then we see the people saying the winner's break format is not right. But as you can see, it's not easy to get a ball on the break every single time. Firstly, with the triangle rack, then definitely adds an element of pressure to it. You are not certain to be breaking in the next frame as you are with the alternate break format, where you know if your opponent broke in this frame, no matter what happens, whether they run the rack or not, you are coming to the table in the next frame. So in this way, where you get a chance, you know that you have to do the most with it, otherwise you aren't coming back to the table. And this is exactly what Yu Haitao is trying to do. He's trying to make that opportunity for himself, trying to get himself back to the table. Use 2 cushions to come around. Nicely done. And this is off Chen Suming's try break at the moment. Yu Haitao secures his 5th point with another rack and run. He's currently on 3 rack and runs. Chen Suming 2 break and runs, 2 rack and runs. So for instance, in that scenario, he knows that he has to make the clearance to stay at the table. To be breaking in the next frame, he doesn't. Chen Semming stays at the table. She finds her break and he's in trouble. So definitely adds, say, pressure, exciting element, of course, for the spectators. When you see a player gaining momentum and running 3 or 4 or 5 racks in a row. With the winner's break format, we can have these players having incredible leads and also in the same breath, great comebacks. Another interesting layout, you have the red 3 on the bottom cushion on our screen. You got 1 yellow 1 and the blue stripe 10 on either side. Is opting for stripes, landing low on the 14. Which means cue ball will be heading into the balk area to play 9 and 13 next. When you're a spectator, it's so easy to see that you should get the cue ball low in this scenario and get the cue ball here for its natural movement to head up table, for example. But when you're at the table, honestly, a totally different story. And how many times do you find yourself on the wrong side, having to force angles here and there? Now, similar ball that he had earlier in the match that he potted to win the frame. That one was closer to the cushion, if not on the cushion. Powered that in. Absolutely drilled that into the bottom right corner pocket. And you can see those are shots that he has no problem with. Looks good. Yu Haitao gets his 6 point on the board with his first break and run, making that look very, very easy. Was always on the right side where he needed to be. Didn't have to work the cue ball much. Have to say, of the match, that was one of the cleanest and neatest runouts that we've seen thus far. 1 break and run for Yu Haitao and 3 rack and runs. 2 break and runs and 2 rack and runs for Chen Semming thus far. Now looking for a second consecutive break and run. Yu Haitao back to the table. He's 7-6 down in this race to 15. Now he's also taken a bit of pace off the break. It's very interesting to see. The cue ball was controlled well. It got kicked by the 1 ball.
秒。
Honestly think that's one of the key factors of Yu Haitao's game is his cue ball control, but not what he can do with the cue ball, but where he puts the cue ball to always be in the position to make his next shot easier than it could be. Given the first shot that he played here, landing low purposely on the 3 meant that he didn't have to overscrew the cue ball. Its natural movement took it down table. And that's usually when you see players making this game look so easy, that's what they're doing. That's why it looks so easy. Not having to put so much effort into every shot. It becomes so natural. Even that, for example, almost every shot he's been on the right side of the object ball. So by just playing high or low on the cue ball, it's naturally drifting or running into position for the next ball. And look at that. Look at how quick he can change a scoreline. That's second break and run for Yu Haitao as he equalizes. 7-all. Making this look very simple is Yu Haitao. 2 consecutive break and runs. He's second of the match as well. It's getting a little bit dangerous now for Chen Siming. You also have to factor in the fatigue that comes into play when you have to work so hard for every shot and every frame. This is a race to 15. The final is a race to 19. In the Super Tour, the final is race to 23, I think. Imagine having to work so hard for 23 frames, where you always have to be fighting against the cue ball, fighting against the natural angles. It's not the way the game is meant to be played. And once again, dry break, and that's showing you that even though it is a winner's break format, it is difficult to put together more than 2 break and runs or more than 2 consecutive break and runs. Now Chen Siming will be very much aware of what she's up against and how quickly Yu Haitao can change the complexion of a match and how quickly he can get back into the match. He was 7-4 down, and say within 10 minutes he's right back in this match. Three balls gonna be the ball that comes off the table for her. Now, in this case, also so important to leave yourself in the right place on that 7. Yeah, it's nicely done. 3 ball comes off the table. And Chen Se-ming takes the lead once again, getting her 8th point on the board. That is off the dry break from Yu Haitao.
欧尚地毯突破核心科技，从智能车间到高品质球房，重新定义标准，为每一个台球梦想铺好第一步。铺好毯，打好球，不掉毛，零干扰。
职业选手的第一选择，欧尚地毯掉毛地毯终结者。
Has been a very tight match thus far. At the first 8 frames played break, the score was 4-all. We will have another player break after this frame. This is the 16th frame of this match. And I think we might see Chen Se-ming going into this player break with a lead. That's if she can hold on to the table. She is currently 8-7 up. And this is for a place in the last 16 of this tournament. We are playing the round of last 32 at the moment, single elimination. The 15 ball next to the pink 4, that can be the ball that she takes off the table. She is gonna have to pot the 10 though. That's the blue stripe 10 medium distance. The 3, the red 3, was slightly hampering her there as she had to bridge quite far. Bridge hand had to be just before the 3 ball to not be elevated. Also making sure to come top side of the orange stripe 13. Stun down for the black ball into the opposite center pocket. 15 ball comes off the table. And Chen Se-ming goes into the player break 9-7 up with another break and run. She's on 3 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. Yu Haitao, 2 break and runs, 3 rack and runs.
比赛专用，提醒您，精彩比赛马上开始。一线赛事指定排名：丁俊晖、奥沙利文、郑宇博、楚秉杰等国内外一线球星代言。利百文台泥，高档羊毛皂。一点是聚焦、沉淀、
一线是专注、艺术，一面是缜密、智慧，方寸间雕刻，毫厘间相见。成木质之美，雕琢洞天，与腾龙之势，巧思匠心，以点线面，以小现大，步步为营，丝丝入扣，毫厘间不失方寸，过渡间尽长天地。龙跃而起，潮流之势，包罗万象，独蜘蛛匠心之作。
河北省天一集团创立于2013年，注册资金500万，员工230余名，有着10余年的生产经验及研发设计、生产销售于一体的大型生产企业。优秀的员工、先进的技术、精良的设备，严格的管理使公司得以不断的发展壮大。精确、可靠、专业是我们生产的精神和服务信念。
天一沙发让舒适无处不在。
我是代言人郑卫国，星星暴走，年轻自由。
我是代言人雨龙海，星星暴走，年轻自由。
我是代言人楚炳杰，星星暴走，年轻自由。
Born in Louisiana. My mama told my papa, our little boy has got the blues. You better watch what you do to me. Watch what you do to me. I'll be sorry. That's been no question either.
冠军500万乔氏大师赛官方供应商，正红胶边均匀回弹，铸就一流打感，持续助力中式台球职业化联赛，制造好球桌，胶边选正红。
俺老孙啥功名不要。只求回到这花果山中了，过过逍遥日子。
天要球杆，换一切为可能。中式八球，俗称黑八，是一项原创于中国的运动，在乔氏的推动下，已走进全球96个国家。乔氏中式八球，风靡全球的中国运动。
罂粟胶边具有国内胶边很难做到的特点，罂粟胶边的硬度达到了45度，使反射角高度接近入射角。罂粟整条胶边误差小于20丝，因而各部位酷性一致。欢迎各品牌厂家使用罂粟胶边来提升台球桌的专业性能。好胶边罂粟皂，好胶边罂粟。
赛季数别局17局，陈思明开球。
And we are back after that player break. The score is 9-7 in favor of Chen Siming. This is a race to 15, single elimination, last 32 players left in the tournament. We are on day 9 here at the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Nanning Station Division 1 Tour. Now, if you are wondering what's the difference between the Division 1 Tour, the Super Tour, or the Grandmasters Finals, I'll explain that for you guys. The Division 1 Tour is an open draw. You got about 50 international players and 650 Chinese players. So you're looking at just over 700 players. Usually I think it's a 704 player draw, open draw, where it is the international players against the best Chinese players in the world. Now, having said that, down to the last 32 players, and there is still one international player left standing. That's Jose Alberto Delgado from Spain. And what a show he has been putting on in this tournament thus far, fighting his way through stage 3 yesterday, getting into stage 4. It's not often that you see an international player making it so far, so deep into the Division 1 Tour. Now, usually after the Division 1 Tour, we have the Super Tour starting. That is straight after. This tournament ends on the 24th, in the evening of the 24th. 25th, we start the Super Tour. Now, that is a similar kind of tournament to the Grandmasters Finals, where the international players and the Chinese players play separately until we get down to the last 16 in each category, where it is then an open draw, last 32 playoff in stage 3 up to the final. And it usually is double elimination as well in stage 3 of the Super Tour. Now, as long as it took me to explain that, that's how long it's taken Chen Siming to execute this break and run. She's now on 10 points. She's 10-7 up against Yu Haitao with yet another break and run. She's on 4 break and runs, 3 rack and runs for Chen Siming. So far, we have her on a total of 2 consecutive, so both players having 2 consecutive break and runs. Yu Haitao with just the 2 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. Chen Siming definitely finding some flow now in this match. She's got the momentum, she's got the table, it's winner's break format. Can she keep going? Five away from the finish line. Now, 2-ball makes it into the center pocket, but unfortunately, cue ball in as well. And it was kicked by the pink stripe 12-ball. So she did manage to have a handle on that cue ball, but it's something you can never predict. Is it being kicked in like that? That's going to bring Yu Haitao back to the table. Ball in hand behind the balk line. Has to play forward, down table. And speaking of our last international player left standing, we try and get the scoreline from some of those matches on at the moment. We've got all 32 players currently playing, and if you were on the stream just before this match, you would have seen the live draw being done. So what happens in this tournament for stage 3 and stage 4, there is a redraw before each round. So there is no possibility of odds on betting or anything like that, because you have absolutely no idea who you might play. Not able to take advantage of that opportunity at the table is Yu Haitao. Table back over to Chen Seming. There's a really big margin in the scoreline. Kong De Jing 9-2 up against Chi Gao Shai. Looking for Jose Alberto Delgado. We see Chao Yupeng 7-8 against Sun Yuan. That's a tight match over on table 20. And Jose Alberto Delgado is 7-5 down against Wang Lu Chi. He's got 1 break and run, 3 rack and runs, and she has 2 break and runs in that match. Now, no time limit in any of these matches in the entire Division 1 tour. So even stage 1, race to 7, no time limit. And this is recovery after recovery for Chen Seming, but is there a way out of this? Can she continue this run at the table? So we're right behind the bottom left corner pocket. It doesn't look like she can get to the potting angle of that 11 red stripe. That's why she's opted for a containing safety shot. As you can see, the 4 does go, but it is a tough 4 to take on with where the cue ball is. Almost very close, but is he going to get the 7? Yes. He's followed that right through, missed the 4, but got the 7 in. And he didn't miss the 4 by much, mind you. Just caught the inside jaw. That being said, he's given himself a chance. Now already looking at the black ball does pass into the same pocket that the 7 went into. And if that's the play, you're gonna see that he's gonna make sure that he lands high on the 6. He has enough angle to get the cue ball to around where the 13 ball is, the orange stripe on the table. A little bit more, needs to move a bit more. He's opted to play it short rather than long. Didn't want to end up behind the 13, but he's got the pot on this black ball to this bottom left corner pocket. And it's there, makes no mistake this time. Zhu Haitao gets his 8th point on the scoreboard. He's trailing Chen Siming 10 frames to 8.
郑宇博，楚秉洁的国内外一线球星代言。利百文台泥，高档羊毛皂。
第19局，于海涛开球。
So that safety shot from Chen Siming was just not safe enough. Yes, a little bit lucky from Yu Haitao to get the 7 in, but did well to clear the table from there. Also a nice control break, not hitting that too hard. The cue ball getting kicked. That's 15 into the center pocket. Relying on a little bit of good fortune there. I'd say he's okay. He's got position on the 10 still. That's the blue stripe 10 to the center pocket. Only problem is green stripe 14 has come down and parked itself in front of the 9, going towards that bottom left corner pocket. Now he's been always playing from behind here, was behind 7-4, made a comeback to make it 7-all. Then just before the break, Chen Siming pulled away to 9-7, then to 10-7. Now if he lets her do that again, she's going to end up at 13 very soon. And then she's just 2 away from the finish line. Now this is where things get tricky for Yu Haitao. He's got quite a lot of angle on this 11. Oh, what a shot that is. That is a top draw pot and positional shot to get back onto that side. Pace perfect. He's on the 14 to the bottom left corner pocket. And as you can see, he hasn't left himself that much angle. He can just drop it in, hold the cue ball for the 9. Yeah, doesn't miss those, does Yu Haitao? Not at all. Oh, what a 9th point that is. Fantastic. The way he constructed that break and run from the beginning was not easy at all, but did very well to get that 9th point on the board and add another break and run to his tally. He's on 3 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. Chin Ming 4 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. Both players 2 consecutive break and runs each. Raises the hand, the 5 ball gets kicked into that center pocket. Once again, as I always say, it's the only place, it's the only tournament you'll ever see a player raising their hand on the break for potting a ball. That's because the break is so intentional. They know exactly what they want to do, where they want the balls to go, and which ball they're looking to pot. But Yu Haitao has brought this back from 10-7 down now to 10-9. And it's looking like this could be 10-all. As he walked around, he had a quick glance at the black ball. Not easy to tell from this angle, but there looks like there could just be enough space between the blue 2 and the 6. And if it does go, has the pink 12 as the connector, the bottom right-hand side of the table on our screen. Yeah, it's a clever little shot that he just played there. I mean, so many players would try and screw past the 15, but the angle he had, it was too high on it. You're going to end up much lower on the 15 than that. And it's those little shots, those little cannons that players of this level see that make the game seem so easy when you watch them playing it. Another glance at the black ball. That, of course, tells us that it does pass to that bottom left-hand side corner pocket. And there we go, we're right behind it. There is enough. And he equalizes with another break and run. That's 2 consecutive break and runs again. The score is 10-all on the TV table. Match between Yu Haitao and Chin Ming for a place in the last 16. This is a race to 15. And Yu Haitao will be breaking in the next frame, so advantage Yu Haitao. And look at how evenly matched this is so far. 4 break and runs each, 3 rack and runs each, and both players with 2 consecutive break and runs. And currently, Yu Haitao is on those 2 consecutive break and runs, so if he can get another one, that will be 3. And you can't write that. I was just thinking in my head, every time that he's made a comeback in this match, something has happened where he's opened the door for Chin Ming once again, for her to get back into the lead and to extend the lead. And that's it right there, opening the door, cue ball potted on the break. Gives Chin Ming a visit back to the table, ball in hand behind the balk line. That's the referee calling 10 seconds. And she has used her extension. Players have 45 seconds per shot. One extension of 30 seconds per frame. Now then, do you decide to disturb the black ball, extract it from the right-hand side cushion on our screen, or do you play it as it lies? It was hampered by the 6, made that look easier than it was. At that distance, having to elevate your bridge like that over another ball and still pot. Yeah, I think the previous route that she had in her mind was to leave the 10. That's the blue stripe 10, which she's on now, but she was absolutely straight on her previous object ball, which is why she's taking the 10 now. And to answer the question I asked earlier in the frame, I don't think that black ball is getting disturbed. She's playing that black ball. Well, to me, it looks like she's going to have to play it down. She does, but she's right behind it. That's prime position to play a ball like that. Might need the extension on the cue, as the cue ball is halfway down, but she's right-handed, so it's okay. It looks good. It looks good. It's there. Chen Zhiming takes the lead once again after Yu Haitao opens the door for her by potting the cue ball on the break, and that is another rack and run for Chen Zhiming. She's now on 4 rack and runs, 4 break and runs, and she's managed to stop the momentum of that comeback from Yu Haitao. Chen Zhiming 11-10 up at the moment. Race to 15 against Yu Haitao. But it's going to be a dry break this time. She's not able to stay at the table and extend her lead immediately. Now this is once again a good chance for Yu Haitao to equalize the match, and not allow Chen Zhiming to to get that 3-point lead that she usually gets once he equalizes. Oh, look at that. He's lost the cue ball. He has lost the cue ball. He screwed it too much into that bottom left corner pocket. Not what he wanted at all. And yeah, this could be end of visit if he can't find a pot here. The 7 can bank. The brown 7 can bank to the left center pocket. And that's what he's gone for. So I'm sure to her surprise, Chen Suming back at the table in this 22nd frame. Now the shot she played there was to leave the cue ball tight in behind the 13. I don't think she's got it. It was the 2 that she was trying to hide from. But the 2 is still available for Yu Haitao. It's there. He's got it. But this is far from easy. He's gonna have to move the cue ball a lot here. He's got the 1-5 down table, the 7-4 in balk. You've got the 14 ball in front of the ping 4. So at the moment, that 4 not available into the top right corner pocket. Yeah, it's a tricky one. This was a tricky clearance to make. Even with that shot, he couldn't get into the cue ball that much. 10 ball was very close to being in the way on the left side, on the right side of our screen. Now, do you check the cue ball off the ball cushion and try and go into the 14? Yes, you do. I tell you, it's very easy to talk about a shot like that. It's much harder to play that shot, especially going up against the nap. I saw his chalk fell onto the table. He's lucky it fell onto the table after his shot. If the chalk is on the table during your shot, that is considered a foul. Actually, there can be no foreign objects on the table, which is why you can't leave your extension on the table or even the rest on the table if you are not using it and you are playing a shot. This is a big frame. Big shot on this black ball. It looks good. It's there. Cue ball safe as well. Yu Haitao gets his 11th point. Once again, a safety that wasn't very safe from Chen Sleming. And we are all square on the TV table. 11 all between Yu Haitao and Chen Sleming. This is a race to 15, so effectively race to 4 now between these two players. Yu Haitao with the break. The 14 looks like it's in, 7 almost as well. But the main thing for him is he's potted a ball, he stays at the table. And he keeps the advantage. Because especially with the winner break format, player who's on the table has the advantage. It's up to you to keep the table, to keep breaking, to stay on the table and keep your opponent in their chair. And we've seen matches on the TV table in the previous station event with a player running 6 or 7 consecutive break-in runs. I remember, I think it was quarter-final of the Super Tour, Zhao Ruliang running 6 or 7 break-in runs as well. That's what can happen in the winner's break format. Fortunate for you, but very unfortunate for your opponent, making themselves comfortable in their chair. And I imagine the mental strength you need. Forget about your playing capabilities for a second. Think about the mental strength. Sitting in your chair and watching your opponent make 5 or 6 break-in runs consecutively. What does that do to you? So difficult to not become a spectator as well. I think that's where true mental strength lies. Being able to get back to the table and play your best when you do get a chance after sitting in that chair in a situation like that. Yu Haitao is gonna have to fight for this 12th point in this 23rd frame, and he's going for the bank on the 5. Got the double kiss, unfortunately, and it's not gonna be another clearance from Yu Haitao. Didn't have the right angle to start with, so he had to force it slightly. Also, when you are playing it at pace, it tends to check back a little bit as well, coming off that cushion. chance for Chen Semming to take the lead once again. She'll take that, gets the black ball off that left-hand side cushion. It's okay, 15's close to the ball cushion. That can be the ball that she takes off the table. She's had to check that in with a little bit of inside English to keep it on the high side of the 11 and not go into the 11 coming off the cushion. Tell you what, with the angle she has on the 11, this is not going to be an easy black ball. She's had to settle. Some players would say you have to take your medicine. And it's there. What a pot that is on the black ball. Chen Semming takes the lead once again. She is now 12-11 up against Yu Haitao. 23 frames played. We will have another player break. That'll be the 24-frame player break after the next frame. It was a really good clearance in the previous frame, and Chen Semming breaking now in the 24th frame, 12-11 up. Race to 15. She's made the 3 ball into the top corner pocket. Yeah, the 3 ball got kicked off the 1 and the 9 to get into that corner pocket. After 8 frames played, the score was 4-all. After 16 frames played, the score was 9-7 in favor of Chen Semming. She did make it 10-7 after that. Yu Haitao was able to make it 10-all. She went 11, he goes 11. That's how close this match has been. That's an excellent opening pot on the 6 ball, but she hasn't really been rewarded with good position here, as we see that 6 again. She goes into the 2 full ball. She's on the 5. Unfortunately, glanced the 2, and that's the reason she's not really on anything nicely, though the 7 does go into the center pocket. overcut. And she knows that was a very good chance to go into the break leading by 2 frames. So it's not only about leading 2 frames, it's coming back from the break, knowing that you are also staying at the table, that you will be breaking just 2 frames away from the finish line if she would have, or if she does get to 13 now. She's been fortunate, though, to not leave Yu Haitao with anything on the table, and that safety is looking a little bit loose from Yu Haitao, as there is a pot available to the center pocket for Chen Seming. Now, earlier this year in the Baotou Division 1 Tour, Chen Seming has finished in the top 4 out of this field. That's going to be costly, unfortunately. That was a chance at 13. Yeah, many top 32, top 16 finishes in these tournaments from Chen Seming. Won the Division 1 Tour in Changchun in 2024. Champion of that tournament. Now, so far in this match, there's been around three clutch rail balls that Yu Haitao has potted to win those frames. Now the yellow stripe 9 sitting on the right hand side of the table. It was an attempt to take it out, though he didn't want to be potting that down the cushion. As you can see, what tends to happen as well, if you do miss the cannon on another ball, most times you're ending up out of position or not exactly where you wanted to be, of course. Absolutely unforgiving. Really, to me, it looked like it might just sneak in off that jaw. I think this frame has most amount of visits from each player. 24th frame of this match. And this entire tournament is being played on the Joy Q8 Heyball tables, the official table of the Grand Masters final. 32 match tables, 60 practice tables in the venue. All cloth with Lieberwin 8848 cloth. And I'm sure by now, if you've been watching the streams, you'd know that that is the tournament standard around the world that we play these Joy tournaments on. And it does look like Chen Semming is gonna go into the break, leading by 2. She gets the 13 point on the board in the 24th frame. Chen Semming goes into the break leading 13-11 over Yu Haitao. We will be back in about 5 minutes.
比赛专用提醒您，精彩比赛马上开始。
Wasted your love and won't waste anymore. Wish there was an angel sit up on my shoulder.
俺老孙啥功名不要，只求回到这花果山中了，过过逍遥日子。
天要求干，化一切为可能。欧尚地毯突破核心科技，从智能车间到高品质球房，重新定义标准，为每一个台球梦想铺好第一步。铺好毯，打好球，不掉毛，零干扰。
职业选手的第一选择，欧尚地毯掉毛地毯终结者。
超级蓝钻皮头职业版，采用进口头层水牛皮，韧性好，弹性持久，颗颗精选，粒粒碾压，严格质检。世界职业球员必用的皮头，超级蓝钻，祝您夺冠！
罂粟胶边具有国内胶边很难做到的特点，罂粟胶边的硬度达到了45度，使反射角高度接近入射角。罂粟整条胶边误差小于20丝，因而各部位酷性一致。欢迎各品牌厂家使用罂粟胶边来提升台球桌的专业性能。好胶边罂粟皂，好胶边罂粟皂。
超级蓝钻皮头，黄金版、白金版，采用进口头层水牛皮，颗颗精选，严格质检，韧性好，弹性持久，世界职业球员必用的皮头，超级蓝钻，以专业缔造不凡。 2025赛季中式八球大师赛收官之战，利百文台尼乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛南宁站，全球顶尖选手着陆绿城南宁，甲级赛、超级赛近1000万奖金池，虚位以待。赛事与首届南宁台球产业博览会同步启幕，以沉浸式体验空间展现中国制造，以国际高峰论坛探索品牌出海新路径，深耕南方市场，拓展中国与东盟的台球产业链之路，让中式八球的竞技美学与文化内核跨越国界，为推中入澳、注入东盟动能，书写“一带一路”体育人文交流新篇章。大师赛南宁站由198乔氏台球俱乐部倾情打造。198乔氏台球俱乐部以打造高品质台球文化生态为使命，打造集竞技娱乐、文化交流于一体的生态平台。引领行业。
相结束比赛继续25局，陈思明开球。
And we are back, scoreline 13-11 in favor of Chen Semming. She does have the break, she does have a 2-frame lead, and she's 2 away from the finish line at 15. This match showing us that we are going to have a very interesting conclusion. Is it going to be one-way traffic for Chen Semming now, or are there any more twists? So far, both these players with quite a few one-visit clearances. Yu Haitao, 4 break and runs, 3 rack and runs, 2 consecutive break and runs. Chen Semming, 4 break and runs, 2 of which were consecutive as well, 4 rack and runs. And that is stripes secured. Has she come enough for the 9? Come enough for the 9 though. She has got the 11 to the center pocket. Now 14 and 15 are together. From this angle, I can't even see that it goes into the center pocket. And that was definitely not what she's played. I think she's played to go into the 4 there, perhaps. It's the only way I would see her holding onto the 14. Yeah, it looks like from where the 4 is currently, the pink 4, that is where the 14 would be able to pot from. Bank on the 12. It looks good. It looks good. This is becoming tough though. This was a very clean bank, played at perfect pace. Right into the center of that center pocket. Now if the 14 goes, she's going for it. Oh, what a pot that is. Is she going to be on the 15? We haven't had the camera angle from behind the black ball to see whether the 10 ball passes. Judging by the fact that she's going for the 15, it means it doesn't. So 10 ball comes off the table after this goes in. Honestly, all she's looking for is line of sight on the black ball. It's not there. Half a chance for Yu Haitao now at the table, down 13-11 after 24 frames played. He's got it. He's really good at those very fine cuts as Yu Haitao. And now it's just a matter of shot selection and pattern play. They're all there to get his 12th point on the board. Decided he didn't need to play the 6 as a cushion ball. Extracted it from off that left cushion on our screen. He's nicely on the 3. That will naturally leave him on the 1. Purposely slightly low on the 6, so if he wasn't nicely on the 4, he could run through and play the 4 into the opposite center pocket, but he's almost perfect on the 4, so he might as well play it now. And what a counter this has been from Yu Haitao. Left with half a chance after the miss on the 15 ball from Chen Siming. And he gets his 12th point on the board. He's trailing 13-12 against Chen Siming in this race to 15 for a place in the last 16 of this tournament. And the last international player left standing, Jose Alberto Delgado, is currently 9-8 up over Wang Luqi. Also fighting for his spot in the last 16 of this tournament. Single elimination round now in stage 4, all the way up to the final. And that is a dry break. What a time to have a dry break for Yu Haitao. You see the 4 and the 9 both just going high on the center pocket. Did look like he added a little bit more power to that. Now can Chen Siming get herself onto the hill? Yeah, this is the kind of clearances she just has to make sure on. I mean, we've seen her take out much more difficult ones than this. Now the 2 ball is the only ball that's in the top half of the table for her, so that could be the ball she leaves for her last ball, the ball that comes off the table. Ask for the cue ball to be clean. Now, mind you, that does come off the player's time. The stopwatch is not stopped for that if you do ask for the cue ball to be cleaned. So it's not as if you are wasting time or gaining an advantage like that. Making this look really simple. There goes the 2 ball off the table, perfectly on the black ball. This to get onto the hill and 1 away from the finish line. Rack and run from Chen Ziming. She's 14-12 up against Yu Haitao in this race to 15. We should see those stats coming up. It should be 4 break and runs, 6 rack and runs now for Chen Ziming. And there we go, 4 break and runs, 6 rack and runs, 4 break and runs, 4 rack and runs for Yu Haitao. Both players with 2 consecutive break and runs. Chen Ziming on the hill. Breaking now for a possibility to win this match at this visit. The 9's in. 2 ball looks like it's going as well. It's in. Yeah, she's hit that almost perfectly. Right down the middle. Straight away, see 13 stripe on the cushion. 5 sits outside the center pocket. You've got the 6 sitting outside the bottom right corner pocket. If the 3 is removed, the black ball goes in to that pocket as well. Honestly, this could all be over. Now it's moments like this when keeping your composure is so important. It's the reason these players practice. It's the reason for your pre-shot routine and everything you go through before you take that shot, while you're on the shot. So that in these moments when you are just a few pots away from making the clearance that wins you the match, that you can hold your nerve. She's not high enough on the 1. A roll or 2 more to the top end of the table leaves her slightly higher on this 1 ball, and And she's out. She's home free. Looks like she's going to take her medicine. She's going to leave the 6 long. There we are, right behind the 6 ball. It does go. It's long cue balls sitting on that cushion as well. This is far from easy. You need such a pure stroke. It's there. How's the position on the black ball? It's good. It's good. What a cannon into the 3. And Chen Se-Ming hits 15 in style with another break and run. That is her 5th break and run, defeating Yu Haitao 15 frames to 12. What a victory for Chen Se-Ming. Looked to be the stronger player, was breaking better. Had a slightly better rolls as well off the break, but definitely more consistent in that match. Big well done to Chen Se-Ming. She is through to the last 16 of this tournament. Big thank you to you guys for joining us for this broadcast. So down to 16 after this round is concluded, and we will be back tomorrow morning for the round of 16 single elimination here at the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Nanning Station Division 1 Tour. So tomorrow morning, 16 players start. By the end of tomorrow, we'll be down to just 4 players, semi-final and final on the 24th of December. And after that, on the 25th starts the Super Tour. I'm Raymond Tillack, your commentator for these Joy Heyball events. And I'll be with you right to the final of the Division 1 Tour and the Super Tour as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow.